Hi, my name is Abby Olson, and in my presentation, I will show my research on Discussion Forum Chapter 6, in which we watch a documentary based on Beth Thomas, The Child of Rage. Beth and Jonathan Thomas were two children who endured an unfortunate childhood with their biological parents. The children's mother died as babies, leaving them with a dad who consistently malnourished and sexually and physically abused them. Eventually, they were taken from the home and adopted by Tim and Julie, two loving and caring adults. Shortly after, the effects of Beth's trauma began to show. She repeatedly tried to harm her brother and parents. She even sent Jonathan to the hospital after attempting to kill him. Her adoptive parents said that Beth had shown lots of disturbing behavior, such as killing baby birds, touching Jonathan inappropriately, stealing and hiding knives, masturbating in public places frequently, and even saying she wanted to kill her family. Things eventually escalated to the point where Tim and Julie had to lock Beth in her bedroom at night. After Beth had become a threat to their life, they had decided to send Beth to a psychologist who sought to discover the effects that Beth's childhood had on her developing mind. I decided to study this topic specifically because situations like that of Beth and Jonathan's makes me feel sick to my stomach. When I get older, I would like to help those who have suffered similar trauma and help ones who continue to suffer. Dr. Magid, the psychologist from the documentary, diagnosed Beth with a rare disorder known as reactive attachment disorder. Dr. Magid also concluded that it would be best for Beth to be taken from her home and sent to a specialist by the name of Connell Watkins. Watkins worked in attachment therapy and used a form of treatment called compression therapy. Compression therapy is a very controversial topic because it has many risks and unusual practices. While it is unknown what exactly happened during Beth's treatment and therapy, therapy usually involves a technique known as rebirthing, where patients are wrapped and coddled to simulate the feeling of being birthed. The therapy also includes breathing techniques, which are meant to stimulate a patient to let out and vent the way that they are truly feeling inside. Watkins was sent to prison years after Beth's treatment because a child patient of hers died of asphyxiation whilst enduring the rebirthing techniques explained above. Considering this, would this mean that Beth may have endured even more trauma stemming from her therapy? In my opinion, I believe that she did, and Dr. Jose Luis Cana seems to think so as well. Dr. Cana said that the treatment was sinister and based on the control, depression, and humiliation of children. Dr. Cana also said that her pain and hatred weren't treated, only the consequences of her actions. This leads me to wonder how Beth truly fared as an adult. Regardless of the treatment and therapy she received, and her unfortunate childhood, Beth has become a very accomplished individual. She works as a nurse, is a co-author of a book, she does public speaking in which she discusses issues related to her childhood, and even runs a company in order to help children in situations similar to her own. While looking for information on Beth's current life, I wanted to try and find information on Jonathan's as well. To my dismay, I couldn't find much information. Based on what was said in the documentary, I believe that Jonathan endured trauma that could have been worse or even equal to that of Beth's. Considering the condition is extremely rare, I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. Reactive attachment disorder develops whenever young children do not have healthy attachments with their parents or caregivers. This disorder is usually seen in children who have experienced things such as child abuse, neglect, and then shown little compassion. Children with this disorder usually show symptoms such as explained withdrawal, fear, sadness, or irritability, which we see in the documentary when Beth speaks about her nightmares and unsavory behavior. Another symptom that we see in Beth is whenever she reported to repeatedly hurt her brother and animals and talked about even hurting and killing her family. This is commonly shown in children with reactive attachment disorder. Throughout the documentary, we also see Beth speaking about uncomfortable topics and saying inappropriate things very nonchalantly, which relates to the symptom of showing unemotional traits. Although abuse and neglect is fairly common, not many people end up having this disorder. It is still important to know that RAD can be avoided by just simply properly parenting your children and caring for them. While not enough research has shown to give the exact treatment, reactive attachment disorder can possibly be treated with therapy and patience with your children. Throughout my research, I have learned that there are more children than we may realize in situations such as Beth and Jonathan's. Beth is a great example to reference when proving that there is hope for these children who experience traumatic childhoods. Tim and Julie, the children's adoptive parents, were brave and extremely good people. They sought help for Beth rather than giving up and are the main reason for Beth's success today. The number one lesson that this topic has taught me is that our experiences and environment as young children have a huge impact on our mental and physical well-being. It's important to make sure that children are treated the right way from the time they are in their mother's stomachs to even adulthood. The period in which children are influenced and learn the most should not include unloving and neglectful parents. Showing children that you care should be a number one priority to ensure that you've done what you can to make your child happy. Thank you.